Hello everyone, how are you all doing? As mentioned, as promised in the last video, we will be explaining now more in further details about polysaccharides, starch, glycogen, and solving some questions as well as recapping on the definitions we've covered so far. So let's start by saying actually what is a polysaccharide. Polysaccharide means many unit sugars. They are polymers of monosaccharides joined together by glycosidic bonds in a series of condensation reactions. The starch is the plant energy storage molecule, and the glycogen is the energy storage molecule in animals, bacteria, and fungi. Let's start with the starch, and I'm gonna um tell you something. Starch is very important, and we must know like which one is which one. Yeah, and you cannot memorize each one's what is it called? Each one's properties, or yeah, you cannot memorize which one. For example, here, animals we'll say glycogen. And here in 1/6 we will say amylopectin. So what I mean is that you can't memorize only one thing, and you can't memorize that the starch is from the uh plant. No, you need to know that it's stored in the plant, and it's what 1/6 or 1/4. Here, for example, we're gonna talk about this later. Now, Yani, but the polysaccharide, for example, energy storage in animals, we must know its glycogen, and we must know the properties. We must know everything I'm gonna say now is very important. Like I don't want to skip anything. That's what I wanted to say. Okay. So, starch. Starch is a polymer of alpha glucose molecules joined by glycosidic bonds. Starch is a mixture of two forms of itself, amylose and amylopectin. The ones we were talking about now. Amylose is a straight chain and spiraled, having only 1,4 glycosidic bonds, while amylopectin is branched and spiraled, having both 1,4 and 1,6 glycosidic bonds, which we're going to be choosing now. Amylopectin type. Structure allowing function. Being branched makes starch easier to get hydrolyzed into glucose molecules, which can then be used in respiration, releasing energy. 1. 2. Being a large polymer makes starch insoluble so it doesn't diffuse out of cells and has no harmful osmotic effects on cells. 2. 3. Being spiral coiled makes starch compact so it can be stored in a small volume in cells, leading to high energy density. This is how the amylose looks, and this is how the amylopectin looks. If you want to read this, if I'm gonna find the PDF on the Telegram channel, inshallah, Igcse.science.notesz. And if you want to just repeat the video. If you want to study this with me, you get to look for the studying video of the questions. Have a nice day. Okay, let's go. Glycogen. Energy storage molecules in animals, bacteria, and fungi. Glycogen is stored in muscle and liver tissues mostly. Glycogen is a polymer of alpha glucose molecules joined by glycosidic bonds. Glycogen is highly branched, more than amylopectin, as it consists of many 1/6 glycosidic bonds. Being highly branched allows rapid hydrolysis and rapid release of glucose and energy in respiration. Glycogen is a large polymer molecule. Being large and insoluble means it doesn't diffuse out of cells, so it can be stored and has no harmful osmotic effects on cells. Being compact as chains of monomers and are spiraled allows glucose to be stored in small spaces in cells. These are the general formulas. Monosaccharide CnH2 and ON, disaccharide CnH2 and -2, ON negative N -1, polysaccharide CXH2OY. So basically, these are the exam questions. If you've watched the last video, you know that I'm a bit more into that than that. But we just screenshot the exam questions and be explaining them in the separate video. Here the contrast structure of amylopectin. That's why I just skipped this part. I not skip it. I read it, So here we're just gonna stop explaining things here and start to revise the key definitions, the keywords we've covered so far in the last videos. So we've covered alpha glucose, which is an isomer of glucose which has the hydroxylic group OH and carbon 1 below the plane of the ring. Amylopectin is a branched polysaccharide made up of alpha glucose monomers joined by 1/6 glycosidic bonds that makes up starch with amylopectin. Now, amylose is an unbranched polysaccharide made up of alpha glucose monomers joined by 1,4 glycosidic bonds that make up starch along with amylopectin. Beta glucose, an isomer of glucose which has the hydroxylic group OH on carbon 1 above the plane of the ring. Condensation reaction, a type of reaction that joins two molecules together with the formation of a chemical bond involving the elimination of a molecule of water. Dipole, a molecule which has an unequal distribution of electrons, which causes atoms in the molecule to have partial charges. Disaccharide, molecules formed by the condensation of two monosaccharides. We haven't covered ester bond yet. Not fatty acids, fructose here. Okay. Fructose, a monosaccharide which when combined with glucose forms disaccharide sucrose. Galactose, monosaccharide which when combined with glucose forms of disaccharide lactose. Glucose, a monosaccharide with the molecular formula C6H12O6. Not yet. Glycogen, no. Yeah, glycogen. Highly branched polysaccharide made of alpha glucose monomers that is used as the main storage of energy in humans and animals. Glycosidic bond, the bond between two monosaccharides formed in a condensation reaction. Hydrolysis, breaking a chemical bond between two molecules involving the use of water molecule. Lactose, a disaccharide formed by condensation of a glucose molecule and a galactose molecule. Maltose, a disaccharide made of two molecules of glucose joined by a glycosidic bond. Monosaccharides, the individual sugar monomers from which larger carbohydrates are made. Polysaccharides, molecules formed by the condensation of many monosaccharides. Not yet, not yet. Solvent is a substance which solutes can dissolve in it to form a solution, which we had an example of water. Starch, a polysaccharide made of alpha glucose monomers that is used as the main storage of energy in plants. Sucrose, a disaccharide formed by condensation of a glucose molecule and a fructose molecule. And we're done with this video. In the next video, we will be explaining lipids and proteins. Have a nice, beautiful day.